and we'll have staff members at the high school that say, just so you know, this happened today, this is how I dealt with it. You know, dealing with something that they saw in the hallway, they brought the kid in and said, this is what I told them, this is how I dealt with it that way too. There's more of a communication, I think, that's going on.
But that never got to the investigation level?
No, they would just say, you know what, this is how you handled it, and just so you're aware of that.
But if something happened later, that might be a piece of the
I was
investigation.
going to say,
to
the
make
key
it
thing
repeated.
is that balance of power and repeat it. Have the whole- If Dave picks on you tomorrow, and then he picks on you, you know.
We're seeing more, I guess at the high school, we're seeing more and more students coming together collectively, where there's safety in numbers, where they feel better about sitting down with Jen, or in some case me, and saying, you know, this is going on right now, we know this isn't right. That's probably, especially the second semester, we saw more and more of that, where students were working collectively together. I think that's part of the education that they're getting too, that they understand that, you know, there's safety numbers, and we can deal with this and feel confident we're doing the right thing.
I would guess that there's not a person in this room who had the benefit of a harassment policy when they were students. So you can see how things are changing, and we are making an effort to do a better job for kids than has ever been done in the past. It probably still isn't good enough, but we're working at it.
And I would add, I go to counselor meetings, I go to PBS coaches meetings, you know, you sit and you talk with people about things, and I guess I feel proud of the district and the leadership in that we are addressing it. And there are schools out there that have their heads in the sand and telling me, well, we don't have a problem with that, and I'm thinking, and then talking to the parents of the district saying, we have a big problem with that. And so I guess, you know, sometimes I hate the policy, but usually I say, you know, I'm glad we have it, and that we're able to follow it. And like I said, I'm proud of the district that we're stepping up and saying, this is wrong, and so.
I think you're doing a nice job, and I appreciate the report.
The policy is posted on the district's website, and the policy number is 106. And it has two parts to it, it's the policy as well as the regulations, so anybody can get to it. Click into the parent section or under the board section, click under the school board, and we'll talk about policies. You can click on policies, go to the 100 series and the policy 106. So if you just scroll down through the 100, it's the last policy in the 100 series. The board has the policy in their package, just as information again. What I would tell the board and the community as well as staff that are here is that this policy was written by Iowa Association of School Boards, which you all belong to as board members. It was also written in cooperation with the attorney, as well as Carol Greta, the attorney for the Iowa Department, one of the attorneys for the Iowa Department of Education, wrote the policy. And I feel confident that this is the policy that the district needs to use. I think if you look in Iowa, the majority of the schools have this exact policy. So it's not a policy problem. And so it's not a matter of, well, what do we need to do with the policy? No, it's not the policy. We need to all understand the policy. We need to all value that the workplace for children, as well as adults, needs to be safe and feel good. And you need to know that the district is doing something to try to make that happen, and we do it daily. And so that policy is there for anyone else. Go to the district's website, and that's where it's located. One comment I would make, they're presenting tomorrow to all of the staff, and one of you mentioned that you have what you're going to be giving as a folder to every teacher, but every staff member. With a little over 150 employees, with every employee will have one of those, and every employee will go through that training tomorrow. That was already scheduled. Before the editorial, before the board meeting, way early in the summer, we knew that we needed to come back to this again. So this isn't response to something, it was part of what our plan had been for professional development. So.
Thank you.
You guys have another part, and can you make it quick?
We'll try. Time then.
Question.
The lawsuit that was settled for $30,000, when was that?
The settlement was last, either July or August. I could say probably about August, but I can find the date for you. But I think I was at Civil Rights Commission in August last year.
August 2008.
Yes,
What was the initial amount they were asking for?
100,000.
What's the name of your lawyer that settled that?
Allers and Cooney Law Firm was the law firm that represented us. And then the EMC Insurance Company assigned an attorney to us, and they were going to assign Allers and Cooney to us, but that was already the district's school attorney, and so they assigned another law firm. The attorney's last name is Quinn. I can't think of his first name, and he's in a law firm in Boone.
Okay, what was the total amount spent on that lawyer?
On the school attorney,
On all of the attorneys together?
the insurance companies picked up the expense once we were assigned. What happens if we have a case that we think might be a lawsuit? Or not every threatening comment to me would I call the insurance company, but this one looked like we were potentially going to have a problem with it. And I called the insurance company. She just said, you keep your current attorney working with you, because she said, we have confidence in what that attorney's doing, and there'll be a place here where your attorney and you will know that we need to kick into gear. So if I kept her informed, she said, okay, I'll get a hold of Allers, tell them they're done, our attorney takes over from then on. So at that point, the district did not incur expense related to it. That was paid for by our insurance premium. The prior costs are summarized in an Allers and Cooney document that I have for the board tonight. So some board members have wanted to know what the attorney fees for the last couple of years have been for Allers and Cooney, and what the nature of those expenses were. And I'll go through those in my report, and I identified them as harassment in the expense report.
Does your report have the specific amount of money that was spent for that specific case?
I did that about a week and a half ago. I'd have to look at it again, but I can tell you, if it isn't specific to that case, I can provide that specifically to that case.
All right.
I have a question for the guidance counselor. They don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I want to know if you took a survey asking the administrators, teachers, coaches, and sponsors about respectability towards the staff. If you've ever taken a survey on that in the past to the present.
I'm unclear, so I'm thinking maybe there. When you say respectability, how?
Are kids more respectable 10 years ago than they are today
Respectful
towards
to adults?
to the staff?
To the staff, okay. Have you done that? No. No survey, are you asking for our opinion?
No, not. I don't think you want to get through them right now.